Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Horror Realm. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. Today I have with us, he's a director, he's also starring in a new movie that's right now out on Vimeo and Amazon, and it's called Grinders. I have with us today Andrew Heller. Andrew, welcome to the Horror Realm.
Bruce, so thank you so much for having me, and thank you to all your watchers, listeners, and whoever happens to pop in from time to time. We're very excited. It's been a 3-year journey to get worldwide distribution, initially through Amazon, Vimeo, and Screen Indie, and then in about 6 weeks it's going to go worldwide with all the other platforms you could possibly think of, like Roku and all that kind of stuff. And we're very excited. We've actually, here's something funny that I'm going to say real quick, is somebody submitted us to the Guinness Book of World Records for the lowest budget film with no name that has won the most awards in history. We've won 75 global awards for either Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Story, you name it. Best Original Story, I mean. And well over 100 nominations. So it's completely blown my mind, and sometimes I think my mind is big, but man, did this thing blow mine.
So I'm going to jump on that real quick. I mean, over 100 nominations, awards. Now, tell me about that process. Were you, once you got the film out there, were you like submitted it to festivals like crazy?
Oh yeah, I mean, I allotted a certain amount of money, to submit to some festivals, and then once I got into the loop, some of the other stars and the one other producer that helped me fund this film said to me, well, what would you be happy with? And I mean, knowing the market and having been in it most of my life, I said, 3 to 5, I'll be happy. Man, that's the norm. I mean, you're up against 10 to 15,000 people every time you go into a festival. I mean, a good festival, that is. And I said 3 to 5, I'll be ecstatic. And it just took off. We had a win rate of something ridiculous like 75%, and a nomination rate of over 90%. And that just blew my mind. And then once we got really, really deep into it, film festivals started entering me without me even knowing it, and just sending certificates. And now I'm getting certificates from all over the world. Best Original International Screenplay, best this, best that, from Amsterdam, Copenhagen, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York. I mean, and I'm going, wait a minute. I don't have the money to enter these, and I didn't enter them. But I'm winning without entering. So, I take that as a great compliment. I did poignantly spend a lot of time studying the genre and studying different directors that I thought I could use and utilize their intent in the way they directed things and the way they wrote things, because I knew what budget I had. There's lots of movies I want to do, and there's some other movies I want to do that's, everybody has a passion project, which I do, which is called A Gift of the Heart. But that's going to take several $1 million. And I'm like, I don't have several $1 million. And I tried a couple of years to garner that, and had it collapse a couple of times. So then I switched gears and I said, okay, there's got to be another way to get there. And then this is what I did. And I started this, and now, I put it out to international distribution in LA, and you have a 1 in 15,000 chance of getting global distribution on a movie that has no names in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was picked up in 3 days, and that blew my mind. If that wasn't enough to tell me that where this thing was going to go, I don't know what would have been. And I'm still kind of stunned. But, you know, it's been great for everybody. I had a great group of people. I had, you know, good first-time actors that worked with me that I picked because their personal character almost fit the character. So I didn't have to unfix them, or to use an expletive. There wasn't a whole bunch that I had to unfuck to get them to do the character the way I wanted it. And I worked with a DP that had worked with me before, so he knew exactly my mindset when it came to the photographic side of it. And having been a writer since I was very young and worked with some with one of the best writers in the world that used to worked on all the best TV shows in Hollywood and retired from the studios, and was a professor at USC and worked with me on A Gift of the Heart. I took all that information and applied it to Grinders, and it came out perfect. I mean, for the money we had, honestly, I couldn't ask for any more. I couldn't have asked for a better cast, a better crew, and better people. Everything went so smoothly. Most movies, and I'm sure you understand, most movies, they shoot 4 to 6 pages a day.
Mm-hmm.
We shot 100 pages in 9 days. We were pumping 18 pages a day.
Wow.
We were moving that fast and that smoothly. It was awesome. It just felt like it was meant to be, and everybody was having a good time. You know, for the most part. I mean, obviously there's 1 or 2 people that you're always going to have that are going to gripe. You know, nothing's ever that perfect. But, I mean, as far as perfect as it could be, it was pretty damn perfect. And everybody was absolutely fantastic. I couldn't, you know, I mean, my name's on it. But honestly, it takes a village to build a town. And I could not have done this without all of their help. And they all deserve, you know, all the accolades that go with it. You know, it's not just my name on it, it's their name on it. And for that, I'm so appreciative.
Now, I've never made an indie horror movie before, but I'm a huge fan. Now, you made a statement about, you know, having unnamed casts, and it made it a little bit easier because you didn't have to unfuck them. That's a term.
Right.
Do you think that as an indie filmmaker that it's best sometimes to go with the no-name actors and actresses compared to the ones who are somewhat established, because you can they're more open to your ideas and your molding?
Really, it's a question of choice, and the bottom line is they call it the movie business for a reason. It's a business. I mean, if you want to play and throw your money away and just make short films and do stuff and not ever get your money back, that's fine. I have, you know, if that's what you want to do with your stuff, that's fine. I don't. I'm a businessman. But I've been in the acting business for well over 55 years. I've been in film and television for well over 40. I've been a writer for the same amount of time, and it's always been a business for me. But I've been, in every sense of the word, as a whole, not only a teacher, a writer. I started out on stage, then I moved to the front of the camera, then I moved to the back of the camera, then I moved into the casting, then I moved into the writing realm. So, and then I moved into the teaching. So I had a very good idea of the mechanics of how the entire system works. So I didn't just come at it from a directorial point of view. I come at everything that I do from a writer's perspective, a director's perspective, an actor's perspective, technically a crew's perspective. And, you know, that gives me a well-rounded view of being able to see things from several different angles. So that gives me a great advantage, and that's what I try to teach actors, is the more you know what's going on around you, you don't just become an actor, you now become a very well-oiled instrument of the entire industry, because just by walking on the set and noticing where equipment is placed, where a director is pointing, knowing the lingo and what people are saying, you'll know what's going to happen. And before the director opens his mouth, he'll look up and go, "Oh, that's exactly what I wanted you to do. I didn't know you were there." And then you get into that realm where everybody's happy, because you're not doing 30, 40 takes on a scene. You're in and out in three takes. And you've got your good take and a safety if you choose to go that way. You know, back in the days of celluloid, you know, they might do, you know, with good actors, you know, you could go 3 to 4 to 5 takes, because you wanted to make sure, because you had to then send it in, have it developed, see the dailies, make sure. But now with digital, it's on site. It's immediate. You know immediately if it's right or not, which is awesome, because
it is.
You go, you shoot it, you see it, you go, that's it. The first take was perfect. I have a habit of blocking everything before we actually shoot anything, and then I sneakily walk up to the, you know, all the crew guys, and I go, "Okay, we're going to do a rehearsal," and I go, "Shoot it anyway," because if the actors don't know that we're actually running film, they tend to be more natural. The nervousness of knowing that everybody's watching and listening isn't there, and sometimes in a rehearsal you get the best take, and they go, and then I go, "Okay, well, let's move on." And they go, "Wait a minute, that was a rehearsal. Aren't we shooting it again?" I go, "No, we got what we want." There's a good strategy. And we already got what we want. And they're like, "Am I that good?" And I go, "Yeah, you're that good." You know, you try to enhance everybody's ability to feel good about what they're doing, and break down that anxiety and nervousness when you're on set, because, and especially for actors, and having been an actor my whole life, I know you get on set and you've got lights, you've got cameras, you got cables, you got equipment, you got makeup, you got 100 people running around you at any given minute, and now they go action, and you're supposed to act like none of that's there.
You're ready to roll, yep.
It's nerve-wracking, you know. What I try to do is, knowing as a director and knowing all that's going on, is I take my actors aside and I say, "Well, let's just block through it. We'll walk through it and just pretend like nothing's here." And then I go, "Just go ahead and shoot it anyway. You know, we might get the take we want in a rehearsal." I said, "Just ignore all this other stuff. It doesn't mean anything." And they're like, "I'm so nervous." And I go, "What for? These people are busy doing other stuff. Don't worry about them, you know. Just ignore them. Just, you know." And I said, you're going to be fantastic. You're going to be awesome. And they're like, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. The one guy in Grinders, he had worked with me before behind the camera. And I actually, his name is Red. He plays my half brother in the movie. And I actually conned him into playing one of the lead roles in the film. And he plays my half brother, because he had to bring his truck and the lawnmower. And when he showed up on set and saw 50 people running around, I handed the script to him and I said, that lady over there in makeup is waiting for you. You have exactly 15 minutes to learn these lines and be on set. And he went, oh, what? And I said,
holy shit, yeah.
And he went, are you serious? I said, yeah, you want to let all of them down? and years, his, you know, to this day, he says, you know, I hated you for so long. My comment to you was, fuck no. That's always, he said, your name was fuck no. And then he said, you still conned me into it. And he said, now I'm so grateful because everybody recognizes me. Everybody recognizes my tagline. And his tagline that everybody picks on is, every time he screws something up, because that's what he does. In the whole movie, he screws shit up. And his tagline is, son of a bitch.
Love it.
And he says it in different ways, you know, depending on the circumstance. It could be like, son of a bitch, you know, or son of a bitch, or I slapped son of a bitch, you know. And everybody picks up on that. They goes, it's so funny, you know, and they recognize him for that. But he said, well, why did you pick me? And I said, because not only did you look the part, the character was you. 90% of the character was you. You are inherently already that person. I didn't have to unfuck anything. You were never taught any acting. All I had to do was guide you technically and give you some pointers and not look at the camera and worry about what was going on around you and focus on what was happening in front of you, and everything would have been fine. And he said, you know, I never really thought about that. And I said, that's basically what I did. I just tried to and that was the greatest thing. I mean, some other of the actors that had been acting for a little bit, I had to work with a little bit more, but they all did a phenomenal job, and they listened to me. They paid attention to what I was saying. And, you know, I made them feel good. I would say easily half of the cast had never been in a feature film before, to the extent that I put them in it. And they were all panicking and all worried and saying, well, you know, I'm like, honey, you're going to be perfect. You're going to be an absolute sweetheart. It's going to come across great. And then they see it and they go, oh, wow, that was good. Yeah. And I told you, I said, I'm not going to put you up on the screen and make you look bad, because that would make me look bad. And that's not
exactly.
you know?
Now, Andrew, you were talking about, you know, the technology right now when it comes to filmmaking. It's a lot easy to make a film now compared to back in the day where you actually use an actual film. But so it's pretty easier, but it's pretty incredible that you were able to get your film out into the distribution so quickly. A lot of filmmakers, that's something they have struggled with. Can you give some advice to?
You know, finding the right people, the right niche, and I think the best advice I can give anyone is, remember, it's a business. Set your ego aside. Think about everything that you're doing. Is it repetitive? Is it redundant? Is it the same as everybody else has done? Do something different. Get somebody's attention, and then set your ego aside. think about the business perspective, because that's what distributors are going to look for. They're going to look for, first off, 99% of the time, they want a name in the film, okay? But if you're approaching them with no name, the first thing you have to have is a really, really good script. And it doesn't matter how silly or, you know, B quality it is, which is what Grinders is. I'm not making any joke, but I did it on purpose because I knew I didn't have the budget to make an A-grade script. I didn't have the budget to make an Oscar winner. I had the budget to make a cult classic. So that's what I targeted, and I wrote it specifically for that reason. But I spent 9 months studying different directors in the genre. I spent a ton of time learning the language and the flow and the beats, and learning the processes of getting from you know, Act 1 through Act 2 through Act 3. There is a formula that does work, that's always worked. And people say, but yeah, you can step outside of the formula. Yes, you can. But you've got to start with a base. So if you take the formula, you can deviate slightly from it, but it definitely sets you on the right path to have something that's going to work. And then, depending on your budget, you go after people that are as close to the character you have in mind, that are just normally that person. So you don't have to put in a lot of effort and a lot of time and a lot of work. Distribution is a very difficult game. When I submitted my film, another film was shot in Florida that had Eric Roberts in it. And I'll tell you quite honestly, my budget was $40,000. Okay. Their budget was $1 million.
Wow.
Oh my God, I cannot begin to tell you dollars. But they submitted their film at the same time that I submitted mine to the same distributor. And in 72 hours, the distributor took my film and they turned the other film down.
Wow.
I won't mention the name of the distributor because that's confidential, and I don't want to embarrass them because our conversations are confidential. But what they told me was they could not believe that I wrote something that good and did it that well and got the actors to perform so great for next to nothing. And what they told me about the other film was they had the name, they had the money, but the script was horrendous. The way it was shot was terrible, and the story was garbage. And they were like, we can't sell this. So they didn't take it. So that film died. So somebody blew $1 million. It's gone.
It's funny that you bring that up, because as a movie watcher, I see a lot of indie horror movies that have a decent budget and they're able to get Eric Roberts. I'm not saying Eric Roberts example. I'm just using an example.
Right.
And it's not a good movie. It's not an original movie. It's not a interesting movie or anything. Right. And then you put that up to a micro budget movie, no actors, no big names. And you're just like, well, how the fuck did they do it so fucking wrong? You know what I mean? They got a budget, they got the name. How the fuck did they do it so fucking wrong?
It's ego, it's emotion, because they're not treating it like a business. So first and foremost, without a good script, you have nothing. If you don't have a really good script, you got nothing. You got nothing to work with. And we had a good script. I mean, I did 14 drafts of Grinders, and we probably could have shot more than that. but we didn't have the budget for it. And the sequel's already written. I did 11 drafts of it, and we'll probably do 3 more drafts before we shoot it. And we'll have names in that, and it'll be 20 times bigger and better than the first one, because you learn by doing, you learn your mistakes, you learn the things that, that with little money, you miss things. With a big amount of money, you learn from those mistakes, and then you're always improving. You've got to try to get your ego out of the way and look at it as a business. But the very, very first thing you must have before you even spend a dime and roll camera is a good script. Make sure you have a good script, period. Without that, you are absolutely wasting your money and your time.
So a lot of horror, I'm gonna say a lot, but some horror filmmakers, I think they care a little about character development. They care a little bit about story or plot, and they care more about, the big name. They care the buckets of gore,
right?
And like, yes, that was a thing. I mean, in the 80s, that's all you needed. All you needed is a big name and a buckets of gore. But like, I feel like, but I just feel like the horror audience palette has become more sophisticated. We need a little bit more of a story. We need characters. We have to care about the characters. We cannot. This cannot be Friday the 13th where Bobby comes in and you don't know nothing about Bobby and you're like, oh, he just died. Who cares? We need to actually feel something.
No, this is where a lot of people go wrong now. Is they think the audience is stupid. The audience is not stupid. They can see, oh, here goes another chick running through the bushes. She's going to trip and fall. The hand's going to grab her foot. She's going to get away once or twice. Then she's going to get stabbed to death. I mean, how many times? There's thousands of those scenarios. And they do it over and over and over and over. And it's like, it's redundant, And what I did was, my movie is not a hack and slash. Yes, there's some blood. Yes, there's some hacking, and there's some odd other crap. But there's story, and you get to know the people in the film. I'm actually telling you a story about a town and some whacked out rednecks. Literally, they're seriously have illness in this town. But you get to know these people on a personal level, and people have said to me, I watch it, it's so entertaining, because they're like, oh my God, I know somebody like that. I met somebody like that. And they laugh because the lines come at you fast and hard. Did you watch the promo that I said? I did. What did you think?
It is some wacky fucking rednecks.
Exactly. It's a bunch of wacky rednecks. Now take that and extrapolate that out to an hour and 20 minutes. You get to know the intricacies of how all these people lived, how they came about. You get to know their personalities, how they all intertwined and worked in this whole scenario. So now you've got a story. You've got something that's intriguing, that's keeping your interest, other than just hack and slash. And then shit just goes wrong, and then it just turns into a freaking nightmare. I mean, I don't want to give away the end of the film, but, that's what happens. Everything starts out by accident. You get to know all the characters involved, and all, everybody has a town busybody. Everybody has a sleazy car salesman. Everybody has a butcher in a small town. Everybody has one sheriff, and, you get these quirky little things like, you only have one beauty queen because there's only one really good looking chick in this redneck town, and she's won it 10 years in a row, and everybody just says, Oh my goodness, congratulations for winning 10 years in a row. Well, because she cut all her teeth. That's why. You know,
Yeah, it's just
that's
no
the
competition.
no competition. That's the humor in it, you know. And people see that. It's dark comedy. It's not just, oh, everybody dies. And then people start dying by accident, and then it just turns into a business thing. So without giving away anything else, you know, that's what turns everybody on, and everybody loves it. They absolutely love it. So I really would encourage people to go and see it. You know, it's really completely outperformed anything I could have ever dreamed up in my entire life. I mean, and
So what
people
gave
who
you the
have seen
inspiration?
it, people who have gone to Vimeo already, because it is available there now. As of Friday, it is available there. It'll be available everywhere else, hopefully, by the time this airs. And the comments are, "I love this movie 100%." And I'm talking about people that don't. I'm talking about people that are ages 18 to 70 are watching
Wow,
it and going,
a
"Oh
nice
my
broad
god!"
demographic.
And they'll watch it like 3 times. And I don't know if you caught this in the promo, but when there's 300, and somebody asked me this question, I had to laugh because they said, "Did you actually do that on purpose?" And I go, "Of course I did it on purpose." Where the sign of Fancy's Gulch is
Hmm.
399.5 people in the town,
Yeah.
and when somebody died, it clicked over and went down to 388.5. You know, so there's little nuggets in there all the way through the movie. You know, I think in the promo you also heard Red say "son of a bitch," and
Yes, you did.
of course my favorite line in the whole movie is "an honest to goodness serial killer." We might just get us a Walmart. You know,
Because growing up in a small town, a
well,
Walmart is huge.
exact. And
Walmart's fucking huge.
what makes a small town anywhere? You get a Walmart in a small town, you're a city now. You know, you're talking
The
about
Walmart.
Chancey's Gulch. It's a little shithole with a bunch of crazy ass rednecks in the middle of fucking, and it's Chancey's Gulch with one old timey sheriff that all he does is write tickets, and now he has to call in a detective from the city next door to find out why half his people are going missing, because he doesn't know what the hell's going on. He was never trained to do that. And then the guy says to him, "You know what? You might have a serial killer." And his response is, "An honest to goodness serial killer? We might just get us a Walmart." So, you know, his thinking is like, we're going to be a city.
Exactly. We're the real deal. So, what gave you the inspiration or the idea for this whacked out story?
You know what? It's probably because I smoke too much weed. No, I'm kidding.
That would definitely do it.
No. I'm kidding. Actually, I don't smoke at all. I drink a little bit, but I don't smoke or do drugs or anything like that. I don't adhere to that. But you know, I don't judge anybody. Everybody must do their own thing. But that's just my comedic sense and my creative sense is, you know, I come up with an idea and then I feed into it. You know, I came from Africa originally, so I'm not even an American. I'm a South African originally, and I've been in the United States since 1987. I've lived in the South for over 30 years, and I came up with this idea because I've met people like this, and I was like, how do I get this thing done with like little to no money and get people to buy into it? And I said, you know what? I've been a writer my whole life. Use personal experience. Take characters that I have met and put them into a story that is almost unbelievable. and but make it tongue in cheek and make it realistic enough where people will look at it and go, "Oh my God, I've been in a little town like that, and there are whacked out people like that."
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did, and it really worked. Like I said, I did not expect it to work to the extent that it did. It's completely. And again, you know, all credit to all the other actors, all the crew, everybody that worked, because they all worked their butts off, and the actors loved it, and I'm so grateful to them. So I can't say enough about how gracious and thankful I am for having such a great film crew and such great actors. Just off the top of my head, Greg Cardone, my PR, Donna Segura, Johnny Farace, Katie Payne, who plays my girlfriend, Alicia Mandigo, who plays the town busybody. You know, I mean, it just, Red, his actual name is Dwayne Brockmeyer, but it's Dwayne Red Brockmeyer. He plays my half brother. He's crazy as a loon, but I love him to death. But yeah, I mean, there's a huge list. Juan Ruiz, who was my DP, Andrea Ferragamo, who helped me with the rough cut, and then I sat with Juan to finish the edit. Misha Bubnash. Oh my gosh. Sammy Trupner. Yeah, so many people that just really over and beyond anything I would have expected from them. And I will say this, if it wasn't for Greg Cardone, Johnny Farace, Juan Ruiz, Sammy Trupner, Trevor Sherwood, the film wouldn't have got finished, because about 3 weeks in, I got extremely ill and almost died.
Whoa!
I got jaundice, a blood enzyme infection, double pneumonia. My kidneys were shutting down, and I got COVID all at the same time, and I ended up in the hospital. And my director's Bible was 700 pages deep. That's how meticulous it was. And I remember talking to them on set that morning, because I went to the hospital that morning, and I called my DP up and I said, I will direct from the hospital room. And he said, oh, hell no, you won't. And Sammy Trupner, who was my assistant AD, said, we got this. We've got your Bible. It's so meticulous. We've already done 3 weeks with you. We know exactly your vision of how you've been shooting and what you need done. And the actors know what they need to do. Rest and come back and finish the film. So God bless them. They really helped make the film. They really helped get the film done, and without them, you know, I owe them so much. But they had the tools, you know. I gave them the tools to do it, and thank God they did. They shot 3 days without me.
It's pretty fucking amazing, man.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing people, and if I cannot say enough about them. I cannot sing their accolades enough. Honestly, just, you know, just awesome people. They said, Andrew, rest. We got this.
And that's why it's good to have a good team. I don't care what you're doing. To have a good team behind you equals to your success. And
without a doubt, you know, and I treated them as well as I could with what little I had, and when you're dealing with a small budget, having been in the business as long as I have, your first priority is always make sure, one, everybody is fed well. Number two, they have whatever they need during the day. And number three, they can go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I can mention the other. Yeah,
nothing else matters. If you can accomplish those three things and make them extremely happy, you got a good team. And yeah, I was exceptionally fortunate, and I'm still to this day, and I'm very grateful for the team I had. I couldn't have wished for anyone better. I could not have. It just clicked.
It's pretty fucking amazing, Andrew. Now, Andrew, where can everyone find you, my friend?
Well, MaximusFilms.com is the best way to find me. And that's MAXA Films. Some people put in, I couldn't find you. And I said, well, probably because you put in MAXI. You need to put in MAXA Films. And there's a story behind that. My youngest son almost, he did die in a drowning. And fortunately, it was my own fault. I was there, and I had been a lifeguard when I was younger, and I went in and I saved him. And his name is Max. He's 24 now. He was only like 18 months old when this happened. And I named the film company after him. And he said, Dad, are you really going to do that? And I said, yeah, I think it's perfect. It's a perfect name in honor of you still being alive. God's good grace,
What's up?
So he's quite happy about that. As we say in Africa, he was chuffed, which means he was really happy that I named my film company after him in his namesake. And that's the place to go find me. You can email me there. I don't mind helping people. I can't help people for free anymore. But when I do stuff for people, I try to charge them as minimally as possible to help them out. But, I come across a lot of people that, one, don't want to pay, or two, want something for nothing, or three, want a hell of a lot of work for almost nothing at all. And I just can't do it anymore. I'm 63 years old. I've been in the business I've been in the business over 58 years. My knowledge is extensive. I can open doors for you, but if you want me to help you, people can bring me their films or their scripts. I'll read them. I'll say, well, you need to do this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and fix it. If you don't, that's fine. It's no skin off my back. If you want me to fix it, I might charge you just a tiny amount. When you shoot it, if you have a film that's already done, send it to me. It won't cost you anything. I'll look at it. If you're looking for a distributor, there's companies out there and there's people out there. They'll charge you $5,000 to get it into a distributor, and there's no guarantees. And I don't make guarantees either, because I can't guarantee whether the distributor is going to take it or not. But here's the difference between what I know and what other people don't. Is I have a very long-standing relationship with a big global distributor in LA. I know exactly what they're looking for. So if I look at a film, I know what they want. I also know what they call deliverables are, okay? Which is what they're going to want you to deliver to them. And what impresses them is, one, you give them what they're looking for, and two, you already have your deliverables set to go, so that when you approach them, you say, hey, listen, if they come to me, other people are going to charge you $5,000, right? I'm going to charge you $500. But I won't charge you a dime. if I look at it and say, I will not give this to my distributor,
Yeah.
I will not open the door unless you change this, and this, and this. Because I know, I can pretty much tell you that you're going to get a guaranteed rejection.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, you know, I want you to succeed. I don't want you not to succeed. And I don't want you to go, well, you told me and blah, blah. No, I didn't tell you that.
Yep.
I want you to succeed. So what I'm trying to get you to do is position yourself in the best place you can be. I can't guarantee. They're the only ones that make the decision. But I can get you to the 99 percentile point where you have the best chance in hell of getting it accepted. And if you do what I tell you to do, and I give you the list of deliverables, and you have that ready to go when you submit it, you have that even that much greater of an acceptance rate, because if they say they want it and you can deliver the deliverables immediately, you've just become, they love you at that point. And then you've paid me $5. I'm out of the picture, and you have now a relationship with them. You know, and that's something that I didn't have. I had to work through all those things. And when I had to do all the deliverables and all that kind of stuff, you know, the deliverables take 6 weeks. You know, you've got to have that in place already. And there's things that you don't know as an independent movie maker what you need. In the old days, distributors used to pay for an E&O, which is an errors and omissions. Like if you had somebody on set and you didn't get paperwork on them, you've got to be meticulous with your releases, your memos, your deal memos, and everything. You've got to be meticulous. You've got to have that paperwork. And in the old days, the distributors used to pay for the errors and omissions, because if somebody came back later and said, hey, listen, I worked on a film, I never got paid, and where's the paperwork? You don't have a paper that says that they signed off, that they were getting paid, and they were done after that. They weren't getting anything else. So you're putting yourself in a very precarious position, and the E&O is an insurance policy to cover CYA, basically cover your ass.
Yeah.
And then what a lot of people don't know is they need to have a QC. People go, well, what the hell is that? Well, it's a quality control, and they're international companies that, you know, and they go, but why does my movie have to go through quality control? Well, because every company, every distribution company, every movie company has different rules and regulations as to the quality of what they're going to project. And it has to pass quality control.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to pay for that. So you have to adjust your budget to account for quality control. And 9 times out of 10, every movie is going to go through quality control at least once, possibly twice. And people say, well, why me? What about Spielberg and all these other people? Let me tell you something. Even Spielberg's movies go through quality control.
Everyone does. Yes, everyone does.
It's just film business 101. These are things you have to know and account for, and you have to have an E&O. The distribution companies do not cover that for you anymore. You have to account for that in your budget. So if you have a $40,000 budget, you shot your feature movie, your E&O is going to cost you about $4,000, and you're going to spend another $1,500 on 2 passes in your QC. But make sure that you have all your deliverables ready to go, because that's what speeds up the process, and it gets your movie from 0 to 60 in 5 minutes. as opposed to a year, which is what it took me, because I didn't know. You know, I know so much about the business and having been in so long, but with my first feature, I didn't know that the distribution companies stopped paying the E&Os. So then I had to come up with money to pay for the E&O, and then I had to come up with money for the QCs. So that, of course, delays the process, because you can't just send it to a QC house and they send it back to you 48 hours later. They've got how many hundreds of films they're doing?
Everybody, yeah.
So you're in a queue. So you have to wait until they get to you. And if they find something, then they fix it, or say you need to fix it, and then it has to go back and go through QC for a second pass to make sure that it passes muster. And then then you don't go to the front of the queue, you go to the back of the queue and you wait again. That's how your project gets delayed. Exactly. And I know how to jump all those hurdles, and that's what I try to teach people. And it's information I give them for free. I had two guys recently, actually. Excuse me, for some reason. I got a tickle in my throat. One guy was referred to me, and he wanted to do a mob movie. And he asked me my opinion. And I said, unless it's something that really has a different niche to it, because mob movies are so overdone right now, and this is what I hear in the marketplace. I mean, I have my ear on the ground right into the market. What are they looking for? And they're going, it's just so overdone. It's the same old crap, like the same old horror movies with the chick falling down and the hand grabbing the foot. No, yada, yada, yada. And he said, well, this was like part of my actual family. I said, well, then you may have something. But, just based on a telephone conversation, I can't really give you any qualitative advice other than to say, you need to come up with something unique in the movie genre to get somebody interested. And he got all upset. He let his ego get in the way and thought I was being an ass. And my friend said to him, Andrew was just being honest. He was trying to help you. You're going to waste your money and waste your time if you don't listen to him, because he knows what he's talking about. He wasn't being mean. He's just being straight up. He could help you I can help people get them there, because I know what needs to be done to get it there. But if you're not willing to listen, then I can't help you. And then I have another friend who's been working on a movie, for 6 years, and he was ready to submit it to a distributor. And he called me up and he said, can you help me? And I said, well, first off, I need to see it. And secondly, how long is it? And he said, it's 56 minutes. I said, it's a short film. He goes, no. Anything over 40 minutes is considered a feature. I said, no. I'm telling you right now, don't look at what you read. I'm telling you what I know. If it's not at least an hour and 15 minutes to the primary target of a feature film is an hour and 35 minutes. That's what you're aiming for. But anything over an hour and 15 is considered a feature film. You don't have a feature film. And I said, if you can find footage or add inserts and put another 10 minutes on it, you got a feature film. Then I have to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to submit it or tell you to submit it until I know that it's what they're going to go after. So you may have to changes. And then on top of that, I told him, do you know what deliverables are? He said, no. What are deliverables? I go, oh God, here we go. 6 weeks. You're talking about 6 weeks, a hell of a lot of nitpicky work. I've got 3 pages of deliverables. Okay.
But there's something.
So if you want to do, you've got to have ready, and you.
I just want to say something about so far you said. There's something right now in society. I don't know what it is, but when it comes to creators, right? Or I would say just people in general, like if you don't tell them what they want to hear, then they don't want to hear it. And it's really fucking weird now.
It is. It's like, and then they take it out on me. I'm a creative. I'm giving you information that I have to learn on my own, that I worked and sacrificed extremely hard for. You're not paying me a dime to give you this information, and now you're upset with me? And this is why I said in the very, very beginning, put your ego on the side and look at it from a business perspective, because distributors and the community in the film industry globally, if you're going to make money, could give a flying fuck about your emotions. All they want to know is, how much money can it make me? Period. That's as blunt as it gets.
Yep.
Yes, you can have your part in it, your artistic value, and your emotion in it. But when it comes to the business, you have to be business oriented to get it sold. You can't let your emotion override the business sense of it.
I 100% agree. Well, listen, everybody, get over to Amazon and Venmo, and check out Grinders. By the way, and it's not the gay porn site or anything, but it's something completely different.
And hopefully you'll run a clip from the promo that they can see.
Yes, and actually, this would actually be the link to the promo clip is going to be right in the description.
Put a link and they can go to the promo. It's like 4 minutes.
Go on there.
They can
go
see what it looks like. So, you know, like, comment, share. You know,
exactly.
That's all I can ask for. You know, subscribe on YouTube, make a comment on Amazon. You know, I love you all, and who knows, I may run into you or somebody else one day and go, hey, what are you doing? You want to come be in my next film? I need a character like this. Come on down, you know, because I'm open to always, you know, I grew up being helped up through the business by some great people, and I was always taught, when you have a chance, reach out and pull somebody else up that's below you. You know, don't be in a same way. I've never been that way. People say, but look at all the stuff you've done, and you just sit like a regular person. I said, well, is there a reason I'm supposed to be something different? I'm just a regular person. I'm just like everybody else. I get up in the morning, I have my breakfast, I go to the bathroom, I brush my teeth, I have my coffee. There's not much different about me. I go about my business just like everybody else. I'm not walking around going, hey, do you know my name? Do you not know who I am? Hell no. Yeah. I would rather bum on the street and eat a 3-day-old sandwich than, you know, some, you know, billionaire elitist down his nose. You know?
I'm the same way, Andrew.
I am, you know? I'm just real.
I have me too. I mean, I have other podcasters and YouTubers on my show all the time, and people are like, "Oh, well, they're your competition. Why would you have them?" Or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, they're not my fucking competition. Like, at the end of the day, if I can drop down the one who has the most subscribers in this indie horror thing, if I can drop down the ladder for someone who's just starting off, why would I not do that? You know what I mean? It's just, somebody did it for me, so it's something that you're supposed to do.
This is what the business is supposed to be about. But, you know, inevitably you're going to run into people that are going to hate you or dislike you because they think you're competing with them. I'm not competing with anybody. You know who I'm competing with? Myself.
Yourself.
I'm trying
that's what I'm competing with.
I'm trying to make things better. Greg Cardone has his own little talk show, just like you do. It's called The Hot Seat. and I'm sure you two get along great. He'd love to have you on his show, and vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa.
And you know, I'd reach out to him. It's hotseat813 at gmail.com.
Because I tell people all the time, listen, I invite people on my show all the time. But I'm like, if you have a show, I tell people, if you have a fucking show, I'm an awesome fucking guest. I'm not only a great interviewer, but I'm an awesome fucking guest. Like, if you get me on a show, I am going to get an audience because I'm fun. I know how to talk. I'm a fun guest. So, yeah, so I'm glad to go to anybody's show.
So, yeah, and he's a great guy. He's open to everybody. And, you know, you can go on each other's show. I mean, and he and I talked about it, you know, when we started it up. And he said, well, I'm going to run with it. I said, good, because I don't have the time to do it. And he loves it. And he opens it to everybody. And some people go, well, you're in competition. I'm like, you know what? Just forget about them. Don't chase them. There's no need to chase anybody. We're not trying to compete with anyone. We're trying to help each other, and we're trying to make each other better. We're supposed to be a supportive community, not a community that pulls each other down. So, you know, I always tell people, you know, I might watch your movie, you know, pay the money to watch your movie. I'll give you 5 stars. If I don't like it, I won't comment.
Exactly.
If I don't have anything to say, I just won't say it. But I'll still try to help you.
Exactly.
You know, and that's what we should be doing. We should be holding each other up, because the only way you get better is by listening. You don't get better by letting your ego get in the way and not communicating and listening to good advice when it's given to you. You know, there's people out there that'll give you bad advice and be nasty and condescending. I'm not that person. I'm going to try to give you the best advice. I want you to succeed, because if you don't, you're going to say, I'm the one that gave you bad advice.
Yep.
I don't want that back on me. I've worked hard all my life to get to where I am. I want you to turn around and say, you know who gave me the best advice? This guy.
Yep. Exactly. Andrew, listen, you're more than welcome to come on in my show anytime, man. It's been a pleasure having you on. Listen, once again, everybody, get over to Amazon, Vimeo, and check out Grinders.
Bruce, it's been a pleasure.
Everybody, thank you for coming to the Horror Realm. I'm Travis Bruce. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.